Hello, everyone. It's Mona again from Back Pain Movement Makers. And today is day, I have to check it out. I think it was 74. Yes, day 74. And the fourth of the 10 daily holistic healing habits is breathe clean air deeply every day and throughout the day. And here we are in day 74 of our 365-day free challenge, where we go live every day to talk about healing back pain for good through 10 daily holistic healing habits channeled from the highest consciousness through me. And we are in a summary phase or summary period where we summarize all the 10 daily holistic healing habits 10 days in a row. So this is the fourth habit, also the fourth day in this review period. So I'm going to hand you over to the highest consciousness, since they are the best to summarize this habit. Okay. Okay, here we go. Breathe clean air deeply every day and throughout the day. Well, there are a lot of things, a lot of small parts in this daily holistic healing habit. First of all, a lot of people are breathing very shallow. And by breathing shallow and also having a fast breath rhythm is not good at all. You don't get that much oxygen, so the body will function at its best. But it's not just about that, this habit. It's about also lowering the stress hormone production. And by focusing consciously to slow down the breathing, is a very good method. First, to be present and conscious. You cannot slow down your breathing without being present and conscious. So therefore, both slowing down the breathing, you become more present and conscious. And by slowing down the breathing, also together with being present and conscious, helps to reduce the stress hormones. But this habit is also about breathing clean air. And that could be some kind of problematic depending on where you live, of course. So we recommend that even though you live in a city, that you spend some time outdoors every day, and preferably in nature. It doesn't mean that you have to go on the countryside, excuse us. But that would be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing if everyone had the time, money, energy, and so on to go into the countryside at least once a week. But even to be in a park, no matter how small it is, it's better than just being in the streets with all the pollution and so on, or being indoors all the time. Of course, having plants in your home, that's a good thing as well. And there are special plants that reduces the poison air and the atmosphere around yourselves. Those are really good. But being outdoors, and especially being outdoors in the countryside, that is where your natural environment is, to be in nature, of course. And Mona used to live in a small town before she moved into the countryside. And but it was a small town, and she's also been living in Stockholm, Sweden's capital. But uh, the pollution there wasn't that bad. But then it was in the early 2000s, she went several times to London, and she was kind of shocked because every night her nose was itching, and she had to blow her nose several times, and what came out was not a pretty sight. She was kind of shocked. And of course, now it has passed almost 20 years, and hopefully something has been done about that, so it's not that unhealthy air there. But we really recommend that you try to be as much as possible in nature, just to get fresh air. And if you hate to be in nature, maybe you could just go, as we said, to a park. You don't have to go outside into the wild, even though a walk in the forest does amazing things for you. Not just the clean air. You are in your environment. You could be inspired from nature. There are no crises in nature. Everything just is. The peace, the fulfillment. Every plant, every animal, they know exactly what they are, and they enjoy their lives. Then, of course, crisis happens, and then they do something about that, or try to do something about that. But when the crisis is over, they go back to enjoying themselves again. Humans are the only species that could worry and destroy their present moment by worrying about things that have happened that cannot be done anything about, or that might someday happen. And so being in nature and being inspired by just being, instead of just doing. You are human beings, not human doings. And there are a lot of breathing techniques out there. And the most important thing is that, according to breathing, is that you begin again to watch yourself, to be a breathing detective. Just sit down, have it, write in a journal for a week or two. What is it about your breathing? Is it deep enough? Do you often get out of breath? What is causing that? Is it stress? Stress? Is it some illness? If it is stress, Mona has suffered from this really, really bad, that she couldn't get her heart rate go down, and the breathing, of course, was affected, and it was almost like this all the time. So, and her body remembers that. So when she doesn't need to be in a lot of stress before the body reacts to that. And then she knows, okay, now I'm too stressed. Now I have to do something about this. And a huge thing for Mona in this is just go inside, put her hands on her chest, on her heart chakra, and just intentionally slow the breathing down. We're going to show you through her just by doing like this. And that takes some practice to do and not get panicked about that. She couldn't do this. She started doing some breathing techniques, and it's like you breathe in for a number and then you hold your breath for some numbers, and then it takes some numbers to breathe out like this. You breathe in on 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. And then you hold your breath for 32. And then it takes 16 down, 16 to let it out. And if that is creating anxiety, you could lower that number. So instead of 4, you take it 3, and then you think about Mona, she's not very good at math, but instead of 8 and 4, you take 3 and 8, and then you have 24 instead, and then you have 16 out. No. Well, she's not very good at math. Forgive her. She has been working with 4, 32, and 16, and you could speed the numbers up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get it. And she couldn't do that either the first times because she would get panic when she was holding her breath. But this, as we've said about all the 10 daily holistic healing habits, this should be a plus. This should give you something. You should get something out of each daily holistic healing habits. Otherwise, you shouldn't do that. You should try, for example, Mona and Thomas, they love go picnicking with their kids and their dog. And they have a place in their village because they live next to a river, so it's down in a valley. But they take their car, and it's about 1 kilometer just straight up, and they go to a meadow, and they just sit there, and they sometimes they have just a cup of tea with them in a thermos and some dates, and the girls play with their dog or with each other, and blowing soap bubbles and playing with discs and balls and things like that. Or they have some kind of things where you could, it's a stick with a piece of kind of a ribbon where they could play around with that and so on. And so they do that, but now she's kind of annoyed because the small mosquitoes are eating them up there. But they go there all season of the year to watch the beautiful view. They could see miles and miles and miles. So that's their favorite place. They also take walks in the forests with their dog and picking lingonberries and blueberries and raspberries and things like that. So, but then it's not a must to be in nature. It's something they do, things that they love. They don't go for a jog, for example, because they hate running. They don't go bicycling because there aren't that many roads that suits them, because they are living in the countryside, so the roads aren't that good. It's hard to go biking for, especially for kids, when it's a lot of gravel and so on the roads. And so you have to find something, even though if you just go out on your balcony, sit there for 15 minutes taking a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a glass of water or something like that, you just enjoy, you be outdoors. And while you're being outdoors, you consciously focus on your breathing and lowering your speed, your pace of your breathing. There are also, of course, other breathing exercises that you could look more into, but it's really important. And Mona, for if you go back, it should be week 4. It should be on day 28 or 30, around that. There is a link to Satori Methods breathing technique that Mona and Thomas does almost every day. There are 3 breathing exercises, and it doesn't even take 3 minutes to do them. And it's good for the immune system and lowering stress hormones and things like that. So you could watch that there. And so this about breathing in an incorrect way, it's not just something to be fooling around with, because it is critical to be in nature or breathe clean air as much as possible, because you need the oxygen for every cell in your body. And also, you need to breathe deeply to get that clean air out to all the cells in the body, but also being able to consciously um, deepen the breath and slowing down the breath. And it's important to practice this, because when a stressful situation arises, human don't think that well under that pressure. Some people get really good and really calm when it's a really important and stressful, a very dangerous situation. It's like time almost stops. It's like slow motion. You get to think. But we don't want you to get there, of course, because those situations are really emergency situations. We're talking about being able to to, with your free will and with your intention, being able to reduce the breathing pace. And as we've said before, Mona is not very good at English when we're coming to some physical languages here. So don't shoot the messenger. Try to get what we're talking about, even though her language isn't always correct. We have suggested her and encouraged her to do this in English. So even though it's not her mother tongue, since this is too important to just be held back in Swedish, since there are just 10 million, about 10.5 million Swedes in Sweden. So it's a very small language. So please don't shoot the messenger. Try to get the message here. Okay. By those words, we want to hand you over to Mona again. Well, they are correct about this. I'm not very that good in English, and especially not when it comes to some fact terms and words used in not normal situation, and the grammar and the pronunciation and so on. But well, I have to believe what the highest consciousness says, that this is something that could help a lot of people. And I believe that it's too important than being a chicken shit about this. So I hope you could have some, what do you say? Some understanding and some positive thinking around this, and listen to what the highest consciousness says and their message, because it's really, really important. Okay, tomorrow it's the fifth of the 10 daily holistic healing habits, and it's a spiritual one, and it's about being in contact with your true self, or the highest consciousness, every day and throughout the day. So, and please, 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 if you know someone that is experiencing back pain or chronic pain, because it's no difference. The way the highest consciousness has said that these 10 daily holistic healing habit will create a safety net, will create a compound effect, and will have you in charge of the healing process. And if you know someone that might benefit from this, please send them either to our Facebook profile and look for day 71, or you could also find it on our YouTube channel. And the address is shown in the closing picture that I'm going to show you almost right now. So please do. And if there are some questions or anything that you would like to know more about, please give us a comment, send us a message on Messenger, or send us an email. You have the email address on the last picture as well. Okay. Until we meet again, or you will see me again at least. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you are, and much love and blessings to you. Bye.